This is Dick and Janet Boutilier, Marsh. We're in the picture of us on the Puerto Vallarta waterfront. That snapshot was taken by you and Ellen when we stayed with you. It was a great visit, one we enjoyed very much, and we hope to see you both again in the future. We were neighbors on Sunset Drive in Northborough for only a few years before you moved to Spain, but a dozen memories come to mind of episodes you were involved in. I don't think I've known anyone else with your ability to make things happen and complete a job. When you had a project in mind, no obstacles seemed insurmountable. A few examples. When Janet and I first met you, probably the four things furthest from our minds were having anything to do with skiing, boating, playing kick the can, or building a tennis court. Yet you got us involved with all of these activities. The first winter, you introduced us to ski joring, which was unknown to us. A rope was tied to the back of your car, which was then used to tow a skier up Sunset Drive and, hopefully, traffic permitting, safely around the block. This led to a number of ski trips, starting with mighty Ward Hill and graduating to Vermont and New Hampshire areas, including the aptly named Pitcher Inn, the height of sophistication in Waitsville, Vermont. Next, boats. Janet and I were completely naive about them. Probably had never been in more than a rowboat in a small lake. Somehow you had us join four others on a small, maybe 20-foot powerboat of Bill Polly's for a week off the Cape and Islands. Then in future years we graduated to sailboats and ended up on a New York 40. If I remember correctly, Marsh, one of your boats was named Xanadu. Now, listen carefully to the following segue. That reminds me of the Samuel Taylor Coleridge poem entitled Kubla Khan. Look it up and you'll see why it reminds me of the cupolas on Quinta Elena, which prompts me to come up with the following poem. In Mexico did Marshal Greene a stately pleasure dome decree, where Lola, the sacred hound dog, ran through streets rarely known to man, down to the sun-drenched seas. That's enough poetry. Now let's get back to remembrances of Sunset Drive. Those nights when we ended a party by playing kick the can in the dark until someone got injured enough to quit. Or the time the Tears had a toga party. You and I decided to make a late entry carrying torches in honor of the Olympic Winter Games. We ran through the snow in our bare feet and sheets, carrying flaming oil-soaked rags on top of sticks, and burst into the party, creating a sensation. Only later to discover we had covered all the ceilings with soot. Here's a picture of transporting one of the two tourist cabins we purchased for the princely sum of $200 each to serve as changing houses at the pool. We put them on a flatbed, gave the chief of police a bottle of whiskey, and dragged them down routes 20 and 135 to the pool site. That's you, I, and Jay on the roof, using a 2x4 to flip telephone wires high enough to drive under. Then the tennis courts. I still recall you overseeing the court construction, acting like you knew what you were doing, but inventing solutions as problems arose. You introduced the word scarifying into our vocabulary, and now those same courts, some 38 years later, remain among the finest in the area. Marsh, you're a great guy, and we had a lot of fun together, and we love you. This is from both Boots. Happy birthday, Marshall!